Good morning, student. Today I'm going to teach you the story The Child, written by Premchand. Before I tell you something about the story or I tell you the summary of the story, I would just like to throw light on the writer because the writer of this story is Premchand. Premchand, who took birth in 1880 and survived till 1936. He wrote under the pen name of Dhanpat Rai Srivastav. He was a great Hindi short story writer and novelist. He was born in a village near Banaras, and his childhood and youth were marked by extreme poverty and domestic problems. He was well versed in both Hindi and Urdu, growing up as he did in an environment where both languages were used. As a writer, Premchand was deeply influenced by Gandhi, Tolstoy, Gorky, Victor Hugo, and Roman Roulette. He disregarded all social taboos and married Shivrani Devi, who was a child widow. He gave up his government job in 1920 when Gandhi launched the non cooperation movement and immersed himself in political and literary writings instead. This accentuated his intimate knowledge of rural India. Premchand, he had a very progressive outlook, and he is known not only for his remarkable writings, but he brought a new sense of awareness to fiction. And that is why he is considered one of the outstanding short story writers of world literature. He wrote more than 300 short stories in Hindi and Urdu to his credit. His literary writings reflect the harsh life of Indian peasant with empathy and insight. Premchand depicts the peasant as being caught in the web of inhuman landlords and heartless moneylenders. The novels which really attracted people's attention were Prema, Vardhan, Nirmala, Gaban, Rangabhumi, and Godan. They are some of his well known works. Now, the chapter which is in your course, which is prescribed for your course, the name of the chapter is The Child. The story of Child, it revolves round the character of Gangu. Now, Gangu, he was a poor and old fashioned Brahmin servant. The narrator, he is a landlord, and Gangu works for the narrator. The characterization, if we look at the story, has some distinctiveness and uniqueness because the narrator, he was proud of his upper caste descent, and Gangu maintains a certain distance from fellow servants. Here we have a glimpse of caste system prevalent in the society because Gangu belongs to Brahmin caste, and therefore, though he was an illiterate person, he does not have any quality of his own, but still he belonged to that strata of society. He just maintains a certain distance from fellow servants. And because even his master hesitates to ask him to perform any menial task, we can understand that how in those days Brahmins were considered to be the upper caste in the society. Now, one morning, however, Gangu surprises the narrator by informing his decision to marry Gomti. Now, another character which appears in the story is Gomti, and she was a local widow of doubtful reputation. Despite his master's attempts to discourage him, Gangu marries Gomti. And Gomti, as there was a bad name attached to her, one day she runs away from home. Gangu is heartbroken, but he is determined to find her and bring her back. She's ultimately traced to a hospital in Lucknow where she's found to have given birth to a child. Gangu is very proud of Gomti's newborn baby, whom he not only accepts, but he accepts this child as a gift of God, although he knows that it is not his. And in this attitude, he shows how good and courageous he is. And the story ends with a note that the narrator is ashamed of his high class mentality, and he thinks that despite being literate, he could not come out of the deep rooted shackles which enchained his mind, whereas Gangu, who was a simple illiterate fellow, because of his goodness and courageousness, how he accepts the child as a gift of God. So this is the, in short, it is the summary of the chapter. Now let us take up the entire chapter, and then I will be explaining some things to you. People call Gangu a Brahmin. Now, here I would just like to tell you the first opening mark of the story has hidden implication. People call Gangu a Brahmin. Why? Because he took birth in Brahmin, because of his family and everything. And therefore he say that the narrator says that people calls Gangu a Brahmin and he considers himself one too. Now this also has an implication that he was not only aware of his taking birth in high class, high caste, that is in the hierarchy, as we all know, Brahmins were considered to be the highest, they hold a highest position in the hierarchy. So he also was aware of the fact that he is a Brahmin. So people call Gangu a Brahmin and he also consider himself one too. All my other servants bow to me. But Gangu never greets me like this. Now the narrator says that despite he was the money, he belonged to Zamindar class. He has appointed Gangu as a servant, but still the caste hierarchy was predominant, and because of that, he never bowed before him. Probably he expects me to bow to him, because this is a story which was written in pre-independence era, and people at that time, they used to show their respect to Brahmins. So that is why, just because he was Brahmin, he also expected from his master that he would be greeting him. I lacked the courage to ask him even to fan me in the hot weather. Sometimes, when nobody else is around and I am dripping with perspiration, he does pick up a fan, but his attitude is that he is doing me a great favor. He is short tempered and cannot tolerate even the slightest rebuke. He has very few friends and considers it below his dignity to sit with the sais or the bearer. I have never seen him being friendly with anyone, nor does he ever go to a fair or show. He is not even fond of bhang, which is a common addiction amongst people of his class. So, these in the beginning of this chapter, the narrator describes how he was not an ordinary servant. He considers himself to be different from all those other servants. He never mixed with them, he never sat with them, he never picked up the used utensils of his master, he never bowed before him. And also, even at the time when he was perspiring, he did not fan him because he thought this to be below his dignity. He never prays nor does he go for a bath in the river, and he is completely illiterate, yet he expects all the respect due to a Brahmin. Now, this is typical that time. People who took birth in Brahmin family need not be knowing about the scriptures or the religious books. They may not be, because predominantly the work of Brahmin is to teach. But he was an illiterate fellow. He was not, he has never read, he has never gone through the holy scriptures or holy books or anything. Neither does he ever go to temple, but still he thinks himself to be Brahmin just because he took birth in Brahmin family. Why shouldn't he? If other people can claim respect on the basis of wealth left to them by their forefathers, surely Gangu can also claim respect on account of his ancestry. Now, this sentence